What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Joshua Ayers, #AyersFitness, checking in, signing in, logging in, vlogging in. So first and foremost, I want to thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and joining in with me today. It's amazing to see all your beautiful smiling faces, even though I'm looking at a camera and I can't see you guys. Now it's kind of awkward. But anyway, today's topic, we're going to be talking about the 5 beginner mistakes and how to avoid them. Now, I live here in Elyria, Ohio, and we just got the word from Governor DeWine that May 26th gyms are going to be reopening. So I thought that this would be a perfect time to make this video. I know a lot of us are anxious and excited to get back into the gym, and there's also probably going to be a lot of new people and beginners looking to get into the gym for the first time also. So this video isn't necessarily geared towards only beginners. It could be towards advanced lifters and people who've been going to the gym a long time who could still be making these mistakes. So my goal is by the end of this video, you guys are going to learn 3 things. One is going to be the 5 mistakes to avoid at the gym. And what that's going to do for you guys, it's going to help you figure out how to create a better overall gym experience. And it's also going to help you guys improve your fitness levels. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So, tip number 1, and these are in no particular order. Tip number 1 is going to be using too many machines, too frequent, too often, however you want to say it. A lot of us, we tend to use machines, and I probably use at least one piece of machine every workout, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is if our workout becomes all machines. And reason I'm saying this, even though machines are excellent for beginners because it takes out the stabilization kind of point of it, which is one of the reasons why it might not be the best, but whenever you're getting into lifting, that's great because you're able to focus on the muscle and you can think about that mind-muscle connection and squeezing and utilizing the muscle that you need to for that exercise. What happens is when we use machines, especially older machines, and pretty much even new ones, they're built for a one-size-fits-all. And as I know, as many of you guys know, that humans, we don't come in one shape or size. And so the machines don't necessarily always fit everybody perfectly. So typically it's gonna fit people who are really in that average range. And I myself, as an American male, am not in average height. I'm below average height. I am only 5'6". And also, if you're somebody who's super tall, so if you're over 6'2", 6'3", some of the machines could also be more difficult for you as well. So for me, I might have to try harder to reach up and grab a bar, or my feet are gonna be off the ground, or I'm just not gonna be able to adjust a certain point on the machine just because of my lever arms, because of my limb length, and different things like that. And same thing with somebody who's tall, they might not be able to get a full range of motion because if they're doing a lat pull down, for instance, they might be hitting the top with the weight stack before they're able to get the full range of motion. So it's really good for people who have average proportions or kind of fall into that average body size range. But if you're on the shorter end of the spectrum or the taller end of the spectrum, it could be slightly detrimental. Also, with that being said, one of the things with the machines, like I touched on earlier, is that it does take out some of the stabilization. Now, when you're beginning, that's okay, but we need to make sure that we're not doing it too much because we really do want to build up those stabilizer muscles. So for instance, let's say we're doing a chest press. So if I'm on a machine and I'm doing a chest press, I'm able to do this. And the only thing that I have to focus on is moving my arms forward and backwards, okay? Now, if we transition that and take it one step further, if I'm using dumbbells, let's say, and I'm on a bench, now each one has to stabilize because they're not on that fulcrum anymore, okay? There's nothing that is rotating around, and it's literally my shoulders and body that I'm gonna have to now use to stabilize those dumbbells, which is gonna utilize more muscle. It's gonna have more muscle activation and work the muscle in a different way. Tip number 2 is going to be, and this is gonna be crazy coming from me as a bodybuilding background, too many isolation exercises. So one thing that we see in the gym, a lot of people tend to do way too many isolation exercises, whether that's dumbbell curls or tricep exercises or shoulder exercises, things of that nature. Now, why would that be an issue? Why would that be a problem? Now, the reason that I'm putting this in the category is mainly because a lot of people, it's 2020, we're super busy, we have a lot going on. I mean, aside from COVID-19 going on right now and everybody's quarantined locked in their house. But typically we're very busy, we're on the go, we have family, we have friends, we have work, we have tons of other obligations and things that we need to get done. So sometimes we need to make sure that we're getting the most out of our workout in a short period of time. And one of the ways that we could do that is by doing compound exercises. So for instance, if I'm gonna do a dumbbell shoulder press, it might make a little bit more sense if I'm going to use a barbell, and that way I'm able to use both of my shoulder muscles hitting the deltoids together at the same time, as opposed to doing like a single arm dumbbell shoulder press. Now what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow me to actually put more weight on the muscle because it's spread across both of my deltoids, right? So my left and my right shoulder, I'm gonna be able to press with both of those so they kind of share the load, so I can actually overload it a little bit more than I typically would be able to. And I'm still gonna be working that stabilizer muscles, not quite as much as I would if I was doing that single arm, but I'm still also getting that movement in there. So I'm working those stabilizer muscles, and also since it's compound, I'm gonna be using a little bit more of my body. So same thing if I wanna hit back, if you guys only have a limited time, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're doing your deadlifts. Reason being is it's a compound movement, you're gonna hit more muscles in a shorter amount of time, and you're gonna be really able to overload the body and put stress on the muscles where you want to elicit that growth. So you're gonna get the best bang for your buck by doing compound exercises if you're in a pinch. Tip number 3 is going to be not pushing your limits. And with this, I don't mean being super excessive, being crazy, throwing 500 pounds on a bench or anything like that. If you're able to, then by all means, go ahead. Using too many light weights and not pushing ourselves in the gym is one of the reasons that we can really plateau and hit a wall and not be able to take it to the next level. So what I'm gonna recommend is make sure that you guys are consistently improving, whether it's day over day or week over week, month over month, however you have your program set up, make sure that you guys are always pushing the limits. And it doesn't have to be by anything crazy. Even if you're only adding 2.5 pounds to your bench or curls or deadlift, squat, no matter what it is, even if it's just a little amount, making sure that we're progressing is really gonna help. So we wanna make sure that we're not just sticking with light weights and just kind of going through the motions. Make sure that we're pushing ourselves. So don't be afraid to add a little bit more weight to the exercise. Tip number 4 is going to be combating dehydration. So a lot of people, especially in America, tend to drink a lot of sugary drinks, and what that actually does is it dehydrates us. And a lot of people in America, we actually don't even get the right amount of water necessary. Even if we are staying away from those sugary drinks, we need to be getting in a lot of water. We need to make sure our body is hydrated. If you guys would click back and watch one of my other videos, I did a video specifically talking about water and hydration and how it plays such a vital role to our body and athletic performance, and even just like our everyday lives, the way that we feel. Making sure that we have enough hydration in our body is going to help not only our body feel good and move around and do what it needs to do, but also help with mental clarity and help us be able to focus. And especially if you're looking for gains, you're gonna need hydration. It's just gonna help with your brain, your mood, your body, and everything tying in together. Tip number 5 is going to be not asking for help or advice. I know it can be very intimidating when you walk into the gym and you see a guy and he might be super big and he's super ripped and super veiny and vascular and he's sweating and he might be pumping a lot of weight and iron and grunting and all those noises. But the thing is, don't be afraid to sometimes maybe ask that person for a spot or ask them for advice or something like that. Allow others to help motivate you. So I myself have been in that exact same situation. Years ago when I started lifting, I remember going in the gym and the biggest guy in there, I would see him in there grunting and be getting after it. He's dropping weights, he's super loud, he's aggressive, just veins popping out, and he's just clearly the biggest dude there, like 22-inch biceps, and he would just crush it. And he just looked so intimidating and so scary, and he's just this big guy. And then one day he was walking by me and I decided to say hi. And then he said hi back. And then after that, we actually started talking, and I learned that he's actually a really cool guy. He loves fitness. He's into it just as much as I am. He's been in the game a lot. He's competed in bodybuilding. He's just been around a long time. He's older than me. And so there's things that I could pick his brain about the training styles of how it used to be. Maybe if there's something that I could use into my own training, or maybe a different philosophy or way of thinking that I haven't done before. And it's really cool to be able to pick people's brains and learn those things. And it can also be a motivating factor because you can look at these people and you're listening and seeing what they're doing and seeing what they did to get to where they are. Because maybe that's your goal. Maybe you want to look like that person. Maybe you want to be that guy with 22-inch biceps, or you want to be that girl who has a small waist and a six-pack, or you want to be that guy who's doing a super high box jump, or you want to be that person who's sprinting that 40-yard dash in that time. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because at one point, everybody was a beginner. Everybody had to start somewhere. So don't be afraid to go up to somebody and ask for their opinion or advice or a spot or something like that, because that's how we learn. It's in our human nature. We want to interact with people. We want to talk. And sometimes I know at the gym it can be scary, and maybe we need to make sure that we're being cognizant of timing it properly. So if somebody's just laid down on the bench and they're about to hit the set, probably isn't the best time. But maybe once they get off and they're resting and they're going to grab a drink, or they're writing down their weights in their journal or something like that, or you see that they're just kind of pacing leisurely around the gym while they're resting or something like that. Just making sure that we're doing that and just kind of being mindful of that, really. But everybody had to start somewhere. I know I did myself, and I learned a ton from asking people questions. I made some awesome friends from asking questions. One of my best friends I actually made in the gym just by asking him a question. That's gonna conclude it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys found it informative. If you did, please go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps my channel. Go ahead and smash it if that's your thing. If you have not already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date and not miss any of my latest videos. And also, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead, drop those down in the comment box below. And that'll do it for this video. So, till next time, #GayorsFitness.